Okay, we are setting up the live and we're going live right now and soon. Okay, we are live. No one's here. 5 seconds already. We got the microphone, we got the phone with the SIM card. Let's hope the tripod doesn't fall down. And let's also hope the batteries for the microphone last for almost 30 minutes. I will try again telling my fucking 12-year story for half an hour and hope the tripod doesn't fail. The microphone works on the live. I'm recording the backup, but that needs post production and I don't want to try that shit. So I'm doing this for the third time and we're gonna try that. I'm gonna wait for people. I'm gonna be talking while getting some food and then try again telling the story about the QLA methodology on my life. So let's talk a little bit about this channel. This channel is about the QLA methodology taught by Dan Peña, and he still teaches that on his channel and on his Guthrie Castle home in Scotland, and he'll be on his last year this year 2026. People pay around $40,000 or that's 28 sterling pounds, around that I guess, and you are served the meal for 7 days and accommodation during the Castle seminar. And this is being taught for more than 33 years now, and coming this August, then another year. And Mr. Peña has practiced this own methodology and philosophy and mindset for more than 50 years. So that's the background. I'm gonna come to the screen after I eat something and start talking about my journey or my process really. This is a process, not a journey, not a trip. For getting a lot of money really fast in your life. Okay, I'm eating, guys. So I'll do this. I'm trying to eat fast, so sorry for the sounds. Okay. I've been doing this shit again. This is the third time, as I told you on the introduction. While waiting for some people, I haven't checked the screen and I won't. That's too much bullshit. So what I'll do is I'll just talk again for 30 minutes again, the fucking story again of 12 years on the Q&A methodology, knowing it, just trying to absorb it, then putting it into practice, then failing for not following the steps, So understand that this channel is about that fucking kind of error I did. So how did this start? Well, I was probably scrolling and watching YouTube videos, and family member, I remember I had passed away in that day or the days prior, and some family members have been dying years before also, and each year. And that video arrived, this old man ranting and raving on the YouTube by being interviewed by London Real and in his by Brian Rose on London Real. Okay, so guys, I was not ready, so let's get this straight. that's the interview that got me into this. That was year 2014. No, 2015. That was a year after the real interview. So it took some time to arrive to whatever country I'm in and on the YouTube, and I got it for some reason. And I started watching this and favorite. I remember because I sent it to a friend and on an email. So that's the reason I'm sure about the probably the month, August 2014, probably Mr. Peña's birthday month. And I shared it, and I was sharing it because of fear. Now you'll understand why you share this type of stuff, why you keep sharing bullshit, because you are full of fear. So I share that probably to try to gain track and just talk about it with a friend and all that bullshit. Self-sabotaging activities. Now you know that. And after that, I just kept watching videos and kept probably not many interviews, but uh, videos appeared probably about the ranting and the rage of Mr. Peña, those type of videos. But I also focused years going by about the seminar Castle videos. I watched those, I tried to study, try to understand, and was being convinced about how simple it is, although it's hard, emotionally, all that bullshit, and that you got no self-esteem. And I thought by that time I had a lot, and so that was gonna be a piece of cake. So I kept watching for years and years. So 2015 went by, the next years, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then COVID hit. And by that time, we were locked down. On lockdown, I had so much about Mr. Peña, even years previous with my then girlfriend. I was watching those videos and all that. And 2020 arrived, lockdown, had no girlfriend, and I was on the apartment just trying to figure it out. I was working for the past 5 years as um, like a volunteer salary for a foundation every 6 months. So that was my life back then, and trying to sort out income the other 6 months and bullshit. So I decided, okay, this is the time we are on lockdown. I'm gonna do the QLA methodology from COVID times lockdown. So I started making calls. I also read the book first, and I read it backwards from chapter 13 going back to chapter number 1. I do that usually because I need to know the end before I keep reading something. So I did that, like reading from 13 to 12, and then 11, 10, 9, 8. I try to do it really fast. So I do it probably in 1 month, and I found the PDF on the internet. So I did my job. And if you search long or far enough, you'll find it. Anyway, I did that, and after that, I knew the book has a countdown timer for 21 hours. So I read it from 1 to 13, and when I finished, I knew the ending was going to have a countdown. So I already had planned to call businesses to see if they're for sale. So I knew about the videos a little bit. Now I had the book, which didn't tell much shit. And I also started planning calling businesses to buy them. So I did that. I sent emails. I tried to look for a phone book directory to call certain people during COVID with my cell phone. And those people answered. They wanted more information. I exchanged emails or asked for email to send it, but I had nothing really. So that was some trouble. But the system was validated in that I could search for people and they would say yes, many of them maybe. And one of those assisted living facilities said no. He was tough. He almost closed the phone, and I was like, okay, fuck him. But that was one of the best or most well known here locally. So I was like, shit, that was the one I wanted. But anyway, I knew I didn't have anything. I didn't have a steady job or income or whatever, and I needed to try to build my board or follow the steps. So I'm trying to construct everything backwards. So reaching sellers and then going back to build my dream team. So that's the way I was doing. I was already skipping 3 steps, and I was on step 4 for the QLA, building your dream team. So pay attention to that. Here I am. And now I start looking like, what the fuck? I've been like a government employee, and I've been an introvert. I don't like talking to people. Now I'm being forced because of the countdown and everything. Like, okay, I try to speak to some friends about any contacts, business owners they had, previous bosses, all that. So I get a little, very short list of people and try calling them. I was successful probably with one, and he said, okay, tell me, send me more, same as sellers. So I was like, what more? So, okay, I tried, and then organizing myself to get contacts. That took some months or whatever, and the COVID times hit. Economy is not that good. My finances are not that good. Banks, and eventually start calling, and all that bullshit. So 2021 arrived. I was doing this, trying to get contacts, trying to survive and get payments after COVID with my apartment rentals and all that bullshit, dealing with the people who were leaving the country or whatever and leaving my apartment. And so I was in a very shaky position, but trying to do the QLAs. And I try not to focus on working for anyone, but I did have a couple of friends doing uh, some new technology stuff regarding finances, fintech, whatever. And I was like with them doing some marketing or whatever, some position just to help. So that was like a side job with no paying really salary or anything. At some point it did, but I was focusing on that partially and on QLA. So I tried to get contacts. I did get some directors. It took me many months, and it was exciting to call them. And I recorded everything just to practice, see myself talking, and knowing now the ADHD problem. I think it was a good idea and all that. So um, that was really exciting, getting my board, getting people, although it was very uncomfortable. I tried to talk, if I knew about anything, I talked about the methodology itself, who, probably not who teached it, because I tried to get some, not too much secret sauce out, but I did mention the methodology by someone who did it, blah, blah, blah. And that was my pitch, like trying to convince the people about a methodology to make a lot of money fast. Which, if you get a call from someone like that, you'll probably say, this guy is full of bullshit. So that was me, but getting people. And eventually I asked for pictures, a little short description or whatever, or a LinkedIn page to build a little document with pictures, names, and a little brief explanation. But not much was needed because I was getting, I guess, very important people or very recognized people in my region. So that was validating the system. I was getting people like, okay, talk to me, keep me in touch, all that bullshit. So I grabbed whatever or whoever said something like yes or even a maybe. And at some point, probably I got people who said even no because I was so desperate when people and directors were coming on and off back in the future. So that was 2021, and I didn't get much done about that. Trying to get a female director by December 2022, probably to try to make a deal or some bullshit. So I was on Christmas making calls to get directors to try to make a deal in 5 days. I had that mentality because Mr. Peña teach that, especially in his hardcore, boring seminars, that you can make a deal in before the end of year. So I was like, okay, I need a fucking director, and I call whoever I've been calling, like trying to find some businesses or calling bullshit businesses, and see who sells something, being motivated. So year 2021 finished. I guess I had a mistake, and then 2022 arrives. In that year, I decided to come here and retire myself because I was not advancing at the pace I wanted. So I came here, and that's where the problems started to appear. Internal distractions and doing bullshit on the beach or exercising or distracting myself, this way of life or whatever. And probably hiding the fear that now I had the time, now I had to perform, and now I am not performing. That's a real shock, and the fear that paralyzes you, and you feel like, what the fuck? I know how to call people. I probably can find anyone and call anyone, and I'm not doing it. So that was painful to deal and all that. So after that, I started building the document, trying to get the next step, which are accounting firms and law firms. So I had to decide on one, and decided on law firms because I didn't know about it and which one first, but it was not banks yet. So law firms or accounting firms, and for some reason I decided on law firms. So I started like, okay, I got these board members who open my doors to anyone to be attended or receive my calls or force a call with lawyers. I need to practice. So I called some friends, tried to find out how to sell the idea of not getting paid for working for me. And I had so much research and questions with friends, lawyers, and people I kind of knew, and no one told me a real hope that that would happen. And I was like, there should be a form. And I'm trying to find phrases, methodologies, or whatever, and they exist, but it's all in English and probably other places. And I didn't trust it was possible because people were telling me on that. So I sat down with two friends, lawyers, to watch a soccer game and on a restaurant or whatever. And after that, the game, I need to ask you guys how to sell this. I need lawyers, law firms, big law firms to work for me for free during a long process and then get paid at the end during the transaction. So they told me like no one's gonna do that, and I was like, okay, but how they will do it? So I tried to get a yes at some point, and they were like probably like this, probably like that. But at some point it was so many negatives. I was like, this there is something wrong here. It is not opening their eyes. It is not allowing me to sell it. And that meeting with my two friends, was eye-opening because I thought, okay, it's not with the lawyers, it's with the accounting firms. I follow with the accounting firms from that point on, and the list of accounting firms was easier to get on the internet, like the top accounting firms, 20 in the world. I got the list for the local ones, but I didn't call them. I started calling cheap ones and independent ones and practice with them for many calls, like not many, like 3, 5. And I was like, okay, I'm ready. These people gave me so much information on long calls. They were excited I was calling them because of my board and all that bullshit. So I was like, okay, I'm ready for the big ones. And then it's a boomer. Like the big ones doesn't even want to talk to anyone. I'm calling for days, trying to get a person, human, to contact, and no one appears. It's all like telephones and recordings and bullshit, and then leaving contacts that they don't call you back. So I start getting pissed, and I've been calling, and even coming to the beach at the morning, and receiving calls like, if you don't give my contact to be called, I'm gonna call you back. So I'm trying to get like pissed with the assistants, secretaries, and everything, and that's the way to I managed to get some real person or associate to call me back and all that. And that was another lesson, like trying to talk their language and all that. And that was another month-long process to understand how to talk to them and get a meeting. And then afterwards, like make a presentation, bullshit presentation, to with PDF and all that. I didn't know what to fucking put there. So I I was like, okay, that was taking so many months in the year 2022. And I told you about trying to find a director at the end of December 2022, and that was the year, not 2021. So there was a mistake on my story in the past few minutes. But that's the year I tried all that with getting directors, getting the accounting firm, but I really didn't have the accounting firm, and I was getting frustrated. I was getting calls from banks constantly the whole fucking year, at any time, twice, different banks for the apartments, the payments, and all that bullshit. I was dealing with all that, and on that year, I decided to sell one of the apartments and tell everyone in my circle I was going to do that. And people start getting afraid, or what the fuck you're doing. No one sells the apartment, where you're gonna live and all that. So I had like a backup one, and even coming to this place. So I, I've been talking to poor people. I was sharing with poor people, and their poor people mentality were like complaining to me about what I was going to do anyway. So I sell for cheap my apartment, People pay their price. I put my terms. Well, my terms were, I want to sell now, motherfucker, whatever price. So I did that. And I applied the QLA backwards methodology, whatever. And I got my little money about something that people were worried I was going to sell it at that price. And that's when people started getting afraid about what I was doing. So 2023, I had sold the apartment. I had some money. And I'm gonna finish this. I don't know how much time. I have time blindness, so I'm gonna talk about 2023 in the next one, guys. I don't know where's the fucking phone. And well, that's the story, and I hope I don't need to repeat on this shit again. It's been the third time. So this is the story about my 12 years on the QLA methodology. I have talked about the first years since 2015 to 2022. So 7 years, and let's get the other on a second part. I hope you like it, and fuck off. Don't subscribe, don't comment. I'm pissed about this fucking YouTube thing. This is for me. I need to talk. I need to brain dump stuff at some point, and for free on the YouTube is okay. So I'm sharing it if you want it, but just fuck off. Okay, I'm reaching the phone, so I will be talking. This is the QLA Bot channel where I am documenting my experience on being on the QLA methodology teach by Dan Peña from 33 years ago. And fuck off. I'm here. Okay, I got some chat. Let's check this shit. What's up? Whatever. Wow. Fuck off, people.